The current Minister of the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, Nyesom Wike, is seen by many as a man who epitomizes the word leverage, as a man who had always stood on the right shoulders at the right time. Some see him as a user who makes the best use of both friends and foe and discards them once he was done with them. What's your perception of him? In this video, we are going to chronicle the critical events in the political timeline of Nyesom Wike and expose his opportunistic side. This is Discourse. My name is Azubuike. His personality. Beginning with the meaning of his first name in Ikwe language, Nyesom means who's behind me. There's a popular myth in Nigerian traditional and religious settings that people's names often affect how their lives turn out. Nyesom epitomizes that myth because he seems to be someone who relies a lot on others for support, be it a person or a group of people built into a political structure. He seems to have very good interpersonal skills and understands how to build and maintain the most consequential relationships at the psychological moments. This endeared him to all his masters, from Amaechi to the Jonathans to Tinubu. His relationships. With Amaechi, Wike started his political rise as an LGA chairman in Obiakpo, Rivers State. As a council boss, he was loyal to the governor, Dr. Peter Odili, but his direct benefactor was the then Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Rotimi Chibike Amaechi. He began to build a political structure with his benefactor with the aim of uniting Ikwe youths and people behind Amaechi, who was the then anointed candidate for the position of the next governor. This led to the formation of Ikwe Youth Movement in the 4 Ikwe-speaking local government areas of Obiakpo, Ikwe, Emowa, and Port Harcourt City, with Amaechi as the grand patron. While Amaechi later became Speaker of Speakers, Wike followed his steps to emerge as the leader of ALGON, which was the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria. Amaechi's rise to governor saw Wike rise to become his chief of staff, and then the rest will come later. The Odilis and the Jonathans. In the wake of Wike's feud with his former boss, who in a bid to weaken his political muscle sent him off to Abuja as a minister of state, he began to build a rapport with all the then exiled politicians who were from Rivers State and fled to Abuja, having lost power to Amaechi at the Supreme Court, the likes of the Odilis, Abie Sekibo, and a lot others. He also managed to endear himself to the first couple, especially the First Lady, Mrs. Patience Jonathan. He rode on these relationships to become the governor of Rivers State against all odds. President Tinubu. Wike was a governor whose party was in opposition. He had helped to rebuild the national structure of the party after the previous elections, which they lost to the ruling party. Knowing that power was supposed to swing to the southern half of the country, he had a go at contesting the party's presidential ticket, but fell short to stronger forces within the party. He managed to rally majority of the governors and kingmakers of the party to reward his efforts with the position of vice presidential candidate. But this too was turned down by the then candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who preferred to go for a perceived weaker politician as a running mate. This led to inter-party wranglings, which made Wike decide not to back the party's presidential candidate in Atiku Abubakar. His main reason was that it was the turn of the South to produce the next president, and that allowing Atiku would truncate that pattern. He maintained this stand against the wave of his party and openly campaigned for another party in the presidential elections. President Tinubu, who was the beneficiary of that support, eventually won the election and is now the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Tinubu promptly rewarded him with the office of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, although a school of thought posits that this was precipitated by the hanging issue of possible re-election in the F.C.T, which subsequently became unnecessary as the Supreme Court resolved the case in Tinubu's favor. Wike has since continued the modus operandi that earned him the nickname Mr. Project and turned the F.C.T into a massive project site. If you've been watching for this long, please subscribe to my channel for more content and stay tuned for the crux of the matter. Political opportunism. While with Amaechi as a council boss, after the latter was refused the party's ticket by the then party escort by Alhaji Ahmadu Ali and the then President Obasanjo, when the chairman made a popular statement that the party's flag for Rivers State had K-leg, Wike had an opportunity to realign with the party's candidate, Sir Celestine Omeya, and abandon his boss, Rotimi Amaechi. A lot of promises were made to him. Delegations were sent to convince him to fall in line with the party and get handsomely rewarded for it, but he refused to. He had an opportunity to join the government then and get a very juicy appointment, but he refused to. He instead opted to stay with the ousted candidate in the face of death threats to him and his family. He stayed and fought the case through to the Supreme Court, where they won. If he took the bait, chances are the government of the day would have prevailed and the case would have been lost. He had an opportunity to get richer and more powerful, but he stood by his principles and they won. While he was the chief of staff, he began to build solid relationships with people in the government. He was the campaign director general of Amaechi's second term, after which Amaechi said that after God, it was Wike and his team that made me win. When he stated his intention to succeed his boss and got turned down, he continued to serve but leveraged on the experience he got from co-founding IYM to set up his own political movement known as the Grassroots Democratic Initiative, GDI. The target was to expand the movement to all the wards and local governments of the state, and he achieved it while working as a minister of state in Abuja. The beef between his former boss and the Jonathans provided him with an opportunity, and he used the relationship which he built with the first family to command the federal might and control federal agencies in the state, especially the security apparatus. He managed to campaign and win an election against the then ruling party and became the governor of Rivers State. Given the position of Rivers State in the electoral map of Nigeria and its resources, Wike built a monstrous political structure in the state, comprising both of indigenes and non-indigenes, and established a stronghold on it. His level of performance while in office also endeared him very much to even the common man on the streets of Port Harcourt. He had won his way into the hearts of both the great and the small, both the religious and non-religious alike. There were speculations that he picked and sponsored all candidates in his party for all political offices, from local government to national level, and even some in the opposition parties. This made him unquestionably the final authority of politics in the state. Support for Tinubu. After being denied the opportunity of becoming either the presidential candidate or the running mate, Wike openly declared that he would not support his party's presidential candidate because it was zoned to the north when the south was supposed to have their turn. Once again, he was begged, he was coaxed. Delegations were sent to him, promises made to him, and threats made to him to fall in line with the party, but he stood his ground. If he had fallen in line with his party, they would have won the election given what the numbers say. He would have become even more powerful in government than he is now, would have got a lot of money and power, but he refused and stood his ground and supported a southern candidate to win in line with his principles. Wikipedia defines political opportunism as the attempt to maintain political support or to increase political influence, possibly in a way which disregards relevant ethical or political principles. When Wike had a chance between choosing to uphold political or ethical principles, he had chosen to go with the ethical principles, even in the face of intimidation and threats to his own life and political career. And he did it again, and he did it again. Reports say he is one of the most performing ministers in the present administration. He leads the two main political parties in Rivers State today, the APC and the PDP, thanks to his excellent networking skills and, of course, political opportunism. So I'll let you make an informed decision as to what sort of a political opportunist Nyesom Wike is and how exposed he has become. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and please subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos. Thank you.